Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate world. Today we're diving into a proxy statement, which sounds about as exciting as watching paint dry, but trust me, there are always hidden stories lurking beneath the surface. Think of it as corporate gossip disguised in legal jargon. This proxy statement is from MultiSensor AI Holdings, and it's all about their upcoming annual meeting. Stockholders get to vote on important things, like who gets to be on the board of directors and whether to approve the company's accounting firm. Let's see what secrets we can uncover. First up, we have the official notice for the annual meeting. It's happening on June 4, 2025. In Houston, they want stockholders to elect directors, ratify their accounting firm, and approve some changes to their employee stock plan. It's basically a checklist of corporate housekeeping. You can find all the important stuff online, so no need to kill any trees printing it out. It has a notice that this proxy statement and their annual report are available free of charge. Now, what's on the agenda? Well, the board is recommending that everyone votes for their nominees for the board. They also want you to say yes to keeping Deloitte & Touche as their accounting firm, plus they want to increase the number of shares available in their employee stock plan and give themselves the option to adjourn the meeting if they don't have enough votes. Standard stuff, but important. Here is where things get spicy. There is a handy dandy table that summarizes the proposals that will be voted on and what votes are required to approve each of the items, as well as how votes are counted. Let's meet the nominees. There's Margaret Chu, Stuart Flavin III, Daniel Friedberg, David Gao, and Petros Kitsos. These are the folks who want to steer the ship for the next year. Two current directors, Stephen Winch and Reid Ryan, are not standing for re-election. So it looks like there will be a shift in leadership in the boardroom. Digging into their backgrounds, Daniel Friedberg seems like a finance guy with experience in private equity and investment firms. He has also served on the board of Quest Resource Holding Corp and other companies in the past. David Gao has been involved with media companies and also runs a non-profit in Houston. Seems like he knows a thing or two about business and strategy. Stuart Flavin III is interim CEO and has experience in various innovation operations roles, including stints at Procter & Gamble and McKinsey & Company. Petros Kitsos is a managing principal at a strategic services firm and has a background in investment banking. He has experience in aerospace and defense, which could be useful for MultiSensor AI. Margaret Chu has a background in finance, having served as CFO for various media companies. Her expertise could be valuable in overseeing the company's finances. Moving on to corporate governance, which is basically the rules of the road for how the company is run. They have guidelines covering things like director independence, board responsibilities, and compensation. The company did an independence check on the board members, and they determined that Margaret Chu, Daniel Friedberg, David Gao, Petros Kitsos, and Reid Ryan are all independent. This is important because it means they don't have any conflicts of interest that could cloud their judgment. They have three main committees: audit, compensation, and nominating and corporate governance. The audit committee makes sure the financials are legit. The compensation committee decides how much the executives get paid, and the nominating committee finds qualified people to be on the board. Speaking of executive compensation, let's take a peek at what the top dogs are making. The 2024 summary compensation table gives us a breakdown of what the top executives earned. Gary Strahan, the former CEO, made $295,261, while Stuart Flavin III, the interim CEO, made $145,000. Stephen Winch, the president, raked in a cool $1,786,561. President, Reiki Tin. Vicky $4,404. It's always interesting to see where the money goes. Looks like the details of what exactly these executives were granted are spelled out in the employment agreements. There has been changes at the top. In January 2025, Robert Nadolny was appointed Chief Financial Officer. Peter Baird, who had been CFO, shifted to become Chief Commercial Officer. Alright, who owns this place? The top shareholder is 325 Capital LLC with 28.2% of the stock. Former CEO Gary Strahan owns 19.1%. It's always good to know who the big players are. Now let's get to the juicy stuff. Related party transactions. This is where companies have deals with people who are connected to the company, like directors or executives. It's important to keep an eye on these to make sure everything is above board. They have a policy in place that requires the audit committee to review and approve any related party transactions over $120,000. The company did amend the terms of some promissory notes. Apparently, the notes were owned by David Gao, a director and a trust associated with Gary Strahan. The amendment reduced the conversion price of the notes to $5 per share. Now they want the shareholders to bless their choice of Deloitte as their independent accounting firm for this past year. Deloitte's bill for audit fees, audit-related fees for things like accounting consultations and registration statements was over $1 million. Before we go, it's worth mentioning that the audit committee is giving the thumbs up to the company's financial statements. They've reviewed everything and are recommending that the board include them in their annual report. Now, what's my take on all of this? MultiSensor AI Holdings is at an interesting point. The leadership changes suggest they might be shifting strategy or at least trying to shake things up. The related party transactions are something to keep an eye on, but it seems like they have policies in place to prevent any abuse. The increase in shares for the employee stock plan could be a good way to attract and retain talent, but it also dilutes the value of existing shares. The shift in officers suggests a renewed focus on business development, so Baird's position as Chief Commercial Officer might give the company a needed shot in the arm. Overall, I'd say MultiSensor AI Holdings is a company with potential but also some risks. It's worth keeping an eye on how they execute their strategy in the coming months. Thanks for watching Corporate Decoder. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more corporate insights, and let me know in the comments what companies you want me to decode next time.